What's up, y'all? This is Master of Thought from the Astro Lamada on The Voice Party, and this episode has been brought to you by All Roads Overhead Garage Doors. Their number is 510-375-8756. So if you seriously need to step up your garage door game, they got it for you right here in the Bay Area.
Don't worry. We'll say always we take. Ladies and gentlemen, listeners all over the world and through the Bay as well.
Shout out to Canada.
Shout out to Canada. We love you. But it's not really about us. Today on The Voice Party we are going to introduce I hope I can boldly call her a journalist, but she can better define what she does. Our guest for the day, Mayra Dayan. Go ahead, say hello to the listeners, please.
Hi everybody. Yes,
How do you pronounce your name?
Mayra Dayan.
Mayra Dayan.
One name, everybody.
That's one name.
Yes, say
right.
it together.
Do you ever get called Mayra Diana? Because I think I made that mistake of calling you that once and you chewed me up for it.
You know what? No, I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay, all right.
But
okay.
I'll still correct you.
Okay. Yeah.
My daughter's name, my baby, her name is Diana.
Oh, okay.
Because once upon a time, I only went by Mayra, and Diane being my middle name, I never thought that I would use it. A lot of, we grow up and we only use our first name.
Yeah.
Anywho, I am elevating. I'm becoming this brand new, I'm just becoming I would love to say a new woman. So I want to use my full name. I want to use the name that my mother birthed me with, and it's Mayra Dayan. So just to take it back on the Dayan real quick, I did name both my daughters that because I never thought that I would use it.
you both of your daughters named Diane?
The first one is Jasleen Dayan, and then my baby I put Diana.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
so I just added the A.
Nice. And take us through it. What's So Richmond? Because I remember I hit you up on the So Richmond page when I saw you reposted one of my flyers for one of my comedy shows. Thank you so much for always doing that for me. And every event that I've been a part of, you've been supporting us since. I mean, because some of our events you supported already on there in the podcast since day one. So big thank you to you for that, because that's important. We collaborate with each other with all these little projects that we got going on.
Yes, yeah. For me, it's all pure love. So my organization, I started it 2 years ago, 2018. I feel like it was just a light in my head. It was like a light bulb that was, let me rewind a little bit. So we have an organization already out here in Oakland, actually, and it's called So Oakland. So shout out Shayla Bang. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing that organization. I love what she is doing in her community with the organization, from planning events in her community, just ultimately just what is that word? Getting the community, the culture together, not allowing the culture to ever die. I love what she's doing. So when I seen that, I personally, that's the real, the foundation of my organization is to create, from events, etc. But most importantly, highlight the people within our community. So when I started my organization, I started it for the simple fact that we did not have that in Richmond, California. Mm-hmm. So I reached out to her. Once again, shout out Shayla Bang, and I told her, my idea. For a second, I thought that I wanted to work with her with the organization, but because she's only Oakland and I'm Richmond, there was no way that we were gonna, it's
your own homes. Each one has your own home.
Exactly. So it's like I have to run with what I got inspired So I ran with that, and I started by ultimately, you
guys ain't beefing, right? No,
of course not.
I'm kidding.
Like I said, pure love.
But and she knows that you're running. You've got So Richmond, right?
Yes, and it's crazy because the way that I found out, obviously, I had contacted her, but a little bit after that, somebody else reached out to her and told her the same thing. They had asked her about, we pretty much kind of the same thing. Like, okay, so I want to run with So Richmond. Can you help me? And then she was like, somebody already created So Richmond, So when I heard that story, it was really it was very empowering because the person that said that, I mean, like I said, we're So Richmond. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, so it has been created. So let's work together. And the person that has said that, she has also resources and I have resources. So we did come together and we collaborated in a lot because that's really what it's all about. At the end of the day, unity, and once again, one thing that he did say, JD, was, and it's not based on just me reposting these flyers. It's really an organization. Like, we want to create the next opportunities for anybody that comes to our city, anybody that thinks that doesn't have opportunities. We want them to just be able to, now that we highlighted, that organization and many more other organizations, they're able to tap in and not just go to, it's not like how before you would think, let me go to a 9-to-5 job and let me get a job. No, now you can be whatever you want. And I love the fact that we highlight that. And so they can act, basically what we're doing is activating that within our community. So when I activate that in somebody else, by them just simply seeing what we're doing within our community and being hidden gems, I'm sometimes lost for words when people tell me, like, thank you for doing what you're doing, because I'm just like, oh, it's
a little hub of like, or a better word, a collective of different people that do things that are all Richmond based. And I've actually met people through you that have like kind of
and vice versa.
Yeah, that have helped me out, and honestly, like, man, I'm grateful that I met you, because talking to you before I started this, like, I was already, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I want for the podcast. Like, I've mostly interviewed Richmond folks anyways, and it's all just, if, like you said, if Phil, for instance, is a filmmaker, if he wants to just be a filmmaker and not work his regular day job, there's opportunity that with all the stuff that we have in Richmond going on right now. I mean, to do that, more of that, like making music videos for people or short films for people who are writing. Because there's a lot of people doing stuff in Richmond.
Yeah, and we have to highlight that because, like I said, these 9-to-5s, they're good. They're good. I'm not trying to, because one day I will be giving somebody a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to ever knock that. My whole thing with that is keep your 9-to-5, come back. I know you're going to be tired, but work on your dream job, because eventually all those dreams, you grow up and you shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah. And I don't want I don't want to think like that. I don't want my kids to think like that. So now that I have an organization, I feel like everybody that I affiliate myself with is family, and I'm going to tell you what I know. It's on you to take it and run with it. But by us even saying less and doing more, that's enough for the people. So this platform, which is started off a social media platform, now, congratulations to your podcast, because that's another way, voice, another way to voice our voice, right, through a podcast. I want to do, starting off with websites. We want to do an app. We want to do a podcast. Then we want to go up and we want to do documentaries. We want to do movies. I want to story tell.
You're doing events too, right?
I mean, that's like things that I already created. That's never going to stop. I'm always going to be creating events. If somebody has an idea and wants to ultimately create an event as well, or whatever it may be, from even being a vendor, or they feel like they, they know people that ultimately are as well talented, You know, I want them to feel that they have not only us as the people that they could come to for help, but I want them to become that for themselves and for the people that is after them and it's in the people that they're around. So that's pretty much what the ultimate message for me is, to become a leader. Not no boss. I'm not saying, because back then you would think you got to be a boss. I don't want to be a boss. I don't want to boss nobody around. I just want to, if I can inspire you through my life, that's enough. Like, I am not here to tell you, you know, my opinion sometimes don't even matter. Like, that's fine. I'm so busy sometimes not even being able to drop that type of jewel, you know, but the way that I do live, like I said, I'd rather say less and do more. So that's my next shirt.
Are you still working a day job right now, or are you only dedicated to this right now?
Yes, I'm only dedicated to this. You know, sometimes the money, you know, I don't do it for money. Like, I could care less about the money. I need the money and God provides. But other than that, yeah, there's times where you're just like, dang, I should have a little 9 to 5. You know, you're itching for money, but no, real quick, the next thing you know, you're like, anything that I want, I can create it. I can go out there and get it. So, you know, once again, just creating your own opportunities, that's just really where the money's at. If you really want to talk about money. Even if in the beginning, right, you may not, but guess what? The networking, that means more. Like, it comes to a point where, you know, me and Diddy could be in the same room. P. Diddy, right? We could be in the same room, and if I have something that he wants, and he has something that I want, whatever it may be, I'm intellectual in this area, he's intellectual in that area. Guess what? We're going to
let's make a trade.
You know, that's just what it is. Like, and if you remember, before money, that's how it started.
Yeah.
You know,
barter. So early commerce.
So it ain't gimme, because then you're gonna be like, you got to pay for my services,
right?
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. But I will say that I'm never gonna say I got something that you want, but because you know what I can bring to the table, you know who I am, the type of vibe that I bring, that ultimate energy, you're gonna want to collab with that.
Like, one of my favorite stories is Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez are such good friends and easygoing collaborators that I believe it was QT paid Robert Rodriguez like something like $150 to do some major work on his film, but because they go way back and they're buddies, it's like $1.50.
Oh shit!
Yeah. You know, I mean, they go back. You know, they're old friends, and I was like stuff like that where it's like, you know, yeah, I did it for the homie, you know, and $1.50 was just a gesture, you know what I mean? You know, I think he scored the movie or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it did. That's things like that.
That's how we collaborate. That's how we met. That's how we started this podcast. I didn't know these guys that well. One of my homeboys, the Go to Work Fitness guy, which I think I've tagged you on some of his stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, he worked with these guys before. They needed an actor last minute for a music video they made because he's a artist. He's a rapper.
Yep.
And I was in his music video, and like,
you were his music video.
Yeah.
Doing what?
I was an actor. I'll show you. I think I sent you the link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And watch it.
Oh yeah. And I didn't know these guys, but we did it. And then the next thing is like I asked him if he could come and do photos of my comedy show, and that's how this all started. Like that's how this came about. Just
like the voice party though, like. What was the concept? Like, what came to your mind? Like, it's just us having a party, and you know.
No, it's just the talk. It just
okay.
needed a name.
I love it.
The name just, you know, like that's one of my favorite bands of all time, the Deftones, and they have a song called "Knife Party," and I just like take out knife, put voice like I just needed a last.
You're only hearing our voices, so
yeah. I just it's all a conversation. When people listen on Spotify, they're just listening to this right here. So it just I don't know, like. And then I talked to a friend of mine who listens, and he's like, you know, whenever I listen to your episodes, I feel like it's a conversation I could be a part of. So it's just that's kind of where this all comes from. Like we talk about everyday stuff that, I mean, it's not like you're listening to celebrities talk about they talk about their Maseratis. I can't relate to that right now.
To be honest with you, podcast is where it's at right now.
Oh yeah.
I just want to put that out there, everybody.
It is.
No competition at all, because
no.
we all have a voice, and I feel like
There's one for everybody.
I know that it's not what you say, is how you say it. So I could be saying the same thing you're saying in a whole different way. I'm saying it in Spanish, you're saying English, and people are just tapping in with you and me. That's just what it is.
Precisely.
Or maybe because you said it a little different, and I agree with that one, but at the same time you agree to disagree. Like, let's have these conversations.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
And diversity, like one of our guests said, like
It is diversity, right?
And we're all from Richmond. We're born and raised in Richmond.
Oh, really? Not you.
No, not me.
Oh, wait.
Remember,
And he's from Richmond now, though. Say so, Richmond.
Hey, you know what? You work in Richmond. You worked in Richmond for how many years?
Oh my God.
And you spend more time in your job than you do at home. So, like, in a way,
I went to okay, so check it. I went to Adams Middle School, right? And then 8th grade. And then went to Kennedy from 9th grade to seniorhood. And then went to Contra Costa College, but it's like I had friends in Richmond, and then I started working in Richmond around 2010, and I'm still working. It's 9 years later, and I'm still at Kennedy.
But you're doing so much within this community, so you know what? You got the stamp.
Yeah.
I'm a Richmond.
You're from Richmond.
I could have run for mayor if I only had a Richmond address, man.
And see, that's my whole thing. It ain't even about if you're a native or not. The ones that are natives, what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
especially if it's not contributing.
I
to
know
the
you guys
stuff.
hear me.
Here's looking at you, Pookie.
You're born.
Ray.
What is that?
Raymundo.
No, and see, that's what I'm saying.
Hector.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Little backstory. I was born in Mexico. Yeah.
What part?
So I was born there, but I don't really know too much. But they told me. So I was born in Mexico, Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I better say that right. Before they get on me now. So I was born there, came out here when I turned 1 out there, and then came straight out here. So around that time, if you guys know, obviously, it was a little easier to come out here.
What 90s, like early 90s?
Yeah, because I came through. I came over here on a plane. Through my sister's papers.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, I was in the plane.
You just fly over the border.
I don't
No one even notices.
Like, I see somebody over there. No, that's so messed up. No, but I'm very grateful.
And this is like pre 9/11, so
Hey,
it's extra easy.
I
to
thought
fly.
I was a savage because we from the streets and from Richmond. Oh no, the ones that cross the border, those is the savages. Okay,
The ones that come.
and I'm right, because for the most part, you think that they'll get caught or die or not eat, or they'll get something. I don't even want to go there.
Even
that's
the
a whole different
trip
conversation.
To the border must be insane. Just the trip to get to the border must be crazy dangerous.
I don't know. But see, you know what? I don't know. I feel that because I speak so good English, like my English is real good, I could probably get away with it. Like, for all they know, I do have my papers, even though I technically do. Anywho, let's talk. I will say this. No, now that we're talking about that, I will say this. Papers never stopped me.
Okay.
From anything.
All right.
Okay. I don't need to slap a social. I don't need to feel confident. I don't need to do none of that.
Still so Richmond.
You know what? So Richmond came from this. It's not where exactly you're from in Richmond, California. You're repping it all in one. So
there you go.
Again, with the unity, because I am here for that. I am, it's power to the people. I am the voice of my people. And that's what I want to focus on. Because, I have so in May, real quick, I do want to say this. We'll put it out there right now. In May is, May 1st is the day without an immigrant.
It's my birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mine's on the 12th. So last year I kicked it off with our month, right? Birthday month, which I loved because it was super dope to kick it off with a march. Okay, I did a march. I organized a march, me and my team. So shout out my team.
What march was that?
In my city. The day without the immigrant.
Oh.
And at that moment, around that time, I was working a 9 to 5, right? I was working at La Flor on 21st.
Yeah.
And I told them, I'm like, I'm not coming this day. Matter of fact, I had told the owner, you're not going to close? Because, we have a march. It's the day without the immigrant. We need our people to stand together, come together. And he was like, no, it never works. He was being very negative. That's fine. Just know I'm not coming. Matter of fact, you're about to see me.
Have fun.
Matter of fact, you're about to see me and a couple people marching down through these streets. So just know that's me.
Yeah.
And that was me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So my
doing it
whole
again
thing
this
is,
year?
Come on. Yes, I have to. I have to do this every year. And what I love about it this year is that I not only have met so many people right through from last year to this year, but I'm super excited because the first year we did it was my friend. She organized it. She hit me up within 2-3 days. She was like, I got this crazy idea. I wanted the march, I want to do this march. I want to organize this march. It's in a couple of days. We got a couple of days to go to give these flyers out. So being so radical, I was up and down the streets, till late night, making sure that within those 3 days, everything, it was even posted. I think the cops were probably, they did know we were having that march because of the successfulness of the flyers. So real quick with that being said, my friend, organized it the first year, then I organized it the second year. I was her right hand the first year. So the second year, I had to lead it. So this is my second year, third year. And the beauty of it is the people that I know now, because the first year it was like, it was unfortunately, it was only Hispanics, So when I seen that, I had a vision. I seen all united flags as we marching down, even if they're not there to march with us,
all
but
kinds of immigrants,
just people in general.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could have papers and stop your car and walk with your people because you maybe got people that were immigrants, or you're just not gonna allow that word to even in other words, we can't put a stop to a change specifically, but we can try. And if you can be that voice and lead by example, that's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? So by me doing that statement of the united flags, which I didn't get it because it was my vision for that first year. And then the second year, unfortunately, the city hall was going to get me the flags. So I love the fact that we networked, but it was so last minute that unfortunately we couldn't. But this year, I'm going to make sure that I get all of that in, that request in, so I can finally see my vision come to life, because I really do, it's really about setting that example.
Unity.
You could be driving down, seeing us march and see your flag, and you're like, let me get off.
Is that Guatemala? Oh,
and you know what? Even if you don't see your city or your flag, like, just like how we were saying, unity. Like, how do you not feel that? Like,
all the different states that are moving to California flags.
And they did say we are united.
Yep.
States. So
there's a lot of hate between the Bay Area natives and then the other states that are moving over here.
I saw an article that a coworker of mine posted earlier in the week that read, Texas is getting tired of California. California's moving into their state. And then, like, underneath it, my coworker had written, let's go ahead and turn Texas blue. That was hilarious.
So when I first met you told me that you'd been hired to do a host of a hosting events.
Yes.
Are you still, so aside from the organization, like, you do your own side hustles, like this started off as a side hustle. Now it's like your full-time gig, but now you have side hustles on top of that, right?
right. So I am a mother.
Yeah.
I'm a mother of 3. And, you know, being a mother, sorry about that. Being a mother is very challenging. I love it. And, you know, most of all, you're a mother first. So I love it. And I can't take my daughters everywhere, unfortunately. When you're clocking in at a job, you can't go to their, you know, special performances because you're clocked in at a job. So when I got the idea, or, you know, whatever came to my mind, because in the beginning, you don't do things by faith. You don't step out and say, I'm going to quit this job. I'm going to do, like, that's super radical. I'm radical, but that's sometimes you don't really believe it until you really not only start seeing it around in the world, but it did take me that little one step and then the second step to ultimately become or to be where I'm at now. So yes, I did. What I love about not only the organization, but people are now trying to pay me for my vibe. Like, they want me to host. They're, you know, even if they're not paying me, because I know it's going to pay, and I don't do it for that, but they are calling me personally, like, I need you at my event. I got this going on. I need Mayra, Dayan. I need Richmond. Like, the energy, I would never put a price on that. But that energy, oh my gosh. If I'm not good at anything in this world, all I want to bring every day and be consistent, like, that's my prayer to myself, is that good energy. That's it. We could be broke and be in here laughing. Like, what?
I am.
You don't
broke,
even. But no, we're not though. Let's change the narrative. Like, let's change the mindset.
Money wise.
No, I'm rich, hun. I don't know about you. I'm rich in spirit. Okay.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of that.
Like, if I was rich, like billionaire rich, like, do you think that they're happy? No. So what is? That's a whole different episode, but what is being rich? And that's my whole thing. We're going to have money. That's not a problem. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's not why we call each other rich. That's,
and you can get, and then, you know,
so
when
we got to talk about that on next episode.
You start to talk about it now.
or on my podcast. So I actually woke up today and I love dreaming. Like, I literally woke up and I literally had to write my notes down on the name that I thought about for my podcast. The name that I want to name it. Originally, I was going to have a co-host. It was going to just be like Richmond podcast, which it still can be, but because Mayra, Dayan, I want to get a little bit more personal. I don't just want, you know, I will always Richmond. We're always Richmond. That's just what it is. But I do. So yeah, I thought about a name. I don't know if I want to say it out loud now. No. Should I?
Premiere it on the Voice
I gotta
Party.
I gotta look at
World
my.
Premiere it on the Voice Party.
If you're live,
we are. But you know what?
20 likes says you say it. 20 likes says you say it.
The other page was much more. So this one is only one right now.
Okay.
So you lose. Nah. Yeah, so I'll just say it. I may not proceed, you know, I may change the name, but I do want to say it because I want you guys to tell me what you guys think. So, glamorous. Glamorous podcast. Because I'm beautiful and I'm glamorous, but life is not as glamorous.
Yes.
So there we go.
I like it.
Yeah,
but you know what sells it? Not just the name, but the concept. Because
you know, my podcast might be sometimes it will be video. It won't be, you know, it will be recorded in video instead of audio at times, right? I'll probably have the option because I love this option. I love the audio of it.
Do both.
But because it is called glamorous, I'm expecting women to come glamorous, like, you know us, we come in, it don't matter if we're just coming to sit down, honey.
That's what I like about that.
Okay. And that's just how I am, period, though. But anywho, it was more so on the life is not as glamorous, and like real life is not glamorous, and we need to talk about that because I look glamorous, but I'm here to tell you my real testimony and the realness about me. And it's not just, obviously it's definitely not the out. The out of, it's not bought or anything, but I know that the things that I had to go through in life and what was probably meant to destroy me and it didn't, I'm going to talk about that. Mm-hmm. Back then, it's not about what is that? Snitches get stitches, or mm-hmm. You grow up not really having a voice or being able to be comfortable with your voice. And now that you're your own person, you got your own identity, you got your own, obviously, I think for myself, nobody's going to tell me how to think. And that's my rebellion self. But I'm okay with that because I know that I'll find my truth. I know that I have a voice and I have my own voice. And that's what I love about humans. Bring the differentness to this world. Please don't ever lose your mojo. Like when we talk about energies and vibes, like we're talking about the good ones. Okay.
Yeah, I heard that. No, yeah.
I can't listen to someone. It doesn't matter what name, who they are. If they're talking about something I don't agree, I'll get up and I'll definitely have a statement in who I am, because sometimes, like they say, not all, like how they say, the quote, not all money's good money. You got to really break that down to some people sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I stand by
because they see that as like, you're being negative. I need all my money. All money is good money. But when you break it down and you help them, in other words, to understand not only the way that they should be thinking, right? Because that's not how we want to come at them. Like, this is how you should think. You're wrong. I'm right. But if things like that, I'll sit there and have time for. Like, I'll really want to help you and see if I can really change that mindset, because it's very sad how we have to nowadays, from the way that we used to think. Now we have to like not vamp. What's the word?
Frame.
Is there another word for that? Just ultimately, just kind of reset yourself up in a sense, like kind of give yourself a reset.
Oh yeah.
So
reset. That's a perfect word.
Reconfigure. There you go.
I mean, reconfigure means you're switching things around. But like if you're regaining energy, it's like reset
the mind.
There you go. Reset.
So everyone can understand. Oh, but I'm also doing music too.
Hello.
Yes.
So
let's talk about that.
Yeah, because homeboy here, I was in his music video. He's been rapping since what? Since
off and on for a long time. I'm a rapper. Yeah.
You know what I like to say? I'm not no rapper. I just rap like one. Okay, because you definitely don't look like one, and I'm nobody to judge. Like, what?
Well, you know what? I take my dress cue off of Common.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who Common is, but that man rocks with like the newspaper boy hat and the ties and the sweaters,
like the spoken word,
that
poet.
Type. Yeah. So that's
before Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
There we go.
And I love Kendrick. But
right.
So I don't look like. So people are like, you don't look like a rapper.
Let me hear a little something.
Right.
Drop the beat.
All right.
Oh,
forget bullets. My crew's idiot proof. Fake as all do. Silly as spoof. We steamroll through streets cold. Warm blocks up in G mode. So beyond gold. My platinum fold. Squadron supreme be my team. We top medalists gaining ground. We go up sky high while they diving moist. Grammy getting off the sound of voice spitting. Check the wet mic guard of a beast that's so hard. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's super different.
Thank you.
You came up with that right now?
No, that's actually off a song I recorded called My Squad.
So God, My Squad, though. Look at him.
You say you can't and you won't roll with us, My Squad.
See, you gotta watch the video.
I love that part.
You gotta watch the video.
Okay. So, going back on writing.
No, hold on. Let's talk about your music.
Right, I was going to go through
my bad. I got too excited.
You wanted me to rap too?
Yes, please. Drop us some bars.
Okay. So, if they know, I do go by the Richmond Queen. So, got me on the spot. Okay. I'm from the city of pride and purpose, so Richmond, California. Kings, queens, learn to love yourself and know your worth. There's beauty in pain. Turn pain into power, not money and fame.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, I got a little bit more, but I love it.
Yes. Don't hold back.
Aw. Okay, so
We should
another one. Well, it's the same song. I'm just gonna say it real quick, and then I'll go to how I started. So another verse in my song is I know I'm here for a purpose, living for a purpose, and then I say again, from the city of pride and purpose, so Richmond, California. So that was actually the verse before what I said. But I definitely got like I'm that so Richmond queen, and I'm featuring with one of my I call him my bro, so shout out to Tagga. He made my beat, and my other bro that produced it, mixed and mastered. So shout out to you guys, because I just love the support. They could have charged me and they didn't, because of the foundation of the pure love, and I didn't expect nothing. But by the time I in other words, like need an extra hand on how to go about music, they were right there like, hey, I got a beat for you. You need a beat, because that's the next thing that I needed, because I had wrote already. I had, my other bro, I have a studio, a lot of things. Sometimes studio, with the money that you need for studio time, in other words, it stops you, right? Discourages you sometimes, because you're like, I don't even, I need this money for my rent or for my phone bill. And, once again, I'm very thankful for people like that, because if it wasn't for people like that, I would be the type of person that would allow money to stop me from going forward with something that now when I look back, I have the song already done. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I did that. And looking back, the process of it all was crazy. Like, I went into writing never thinking I was gonna ever just sit down and just write. You're just writing in school sometimes, and you don't even know what you're writing. You just throw away that paper. So becoming a writer now at 28 years old, I obviously had to go through something. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because as an adult, you're like, I have better things to be doing than to sit down and make time for this writing. But it took pain for me to, obviously create this song. And I'm the type of woman, or should I say girl back then, that I was a fighter. I was a fighter in the streets. So, in my mind, even now or before I started writing, I remember hitting up my boxing trainer and letting him know, like, hey, I'm mad. Can we schedule like right now? I need to hit the bag. And it came down to a point where
you need one of these in your room.
I when I seen it today, I was like, ooh. But that's just because I don't want to be rusty. But when it comes to the ultimate, the old mindset that I had when it came to boxing, which was, laying it out, but it didn't really do anything. I just became more angry, and I knew that when I was angry, and I just had to take it out like that. But so anywho, my trainer wasn't available. He was busy that day. He wasn't able to get me in to see him so I could take some steam out. So it made me basically think about another way to go about it. And when I thought about music back then, I used to look at rappers, and I never wanted to be like anybody. Right? You don't want to be no follower. Right. You don't think, and at the same time, you're also putting this doubt on you, thinking like, like
you could never do that in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I did grow up in church, in a Christian church. So I'm thinking, this is not going to glorify God. I don't want to sing gospel songs because I sing to God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not ashamed to sing to God. But when it comes to music, I don't want to do gospel songs because I don't want to make money off God either.
Right.
You know?
You have
So-
a lot of integrity. I just want to throw that out there.
Thank you.
Just from this conversation.
So
I
going back
appreciate
on
that.
the turning pain into power and writing, and my whole thing is the song that I wrote, that's really like 2 years back. So when I think about it, you may be hearing it today and it's a new song, but I already went through that. I already put that on paper. I already got through that. So that's how powerful dropping your worries on paper, because after that, it's done with. You let it go. And that was the best way to allow my anger to not get to me, but at the same time, I controlled it. What? I never was able to control anger. I'm always the one to be like, I just want to fight. I just want to. What does that do? When I was fighting in the street, you could come to my house. I don't have not one trophy from all those winnings. Not that I cared about the trophies,
Right.
but
You've got nothing to show for it. after
No,
all
it
that.
didn't even matter. Like, I don't care about the fighting part because I was going to become professional before I had my kids. Like I was going
Really?
to I was boxing at King's Boxing Gym in Oakland.
Oh, wow.
I was a great fighter. I'm a great fighter. Like now I fight for my people. I fight in a positive way. I
You get to keep your brain.
I'm forever me.
Yeah.
I used to think that I had to change me. Like, God, why am I just this fighter? Why can I not be this fighter? Like, when am I going to change? You know what? All I had to do was basically channel it into a positive. That's it. I'm elevating. I know things that this year that I didn't know last year. I will say that. But everything else I'm still me. I'm just revamping myself. I never want to tell myself that I'm a new creature every year, because then you kind of tend to forget about the people that you knew before. And you're just like, if it ain't a new person that I'm meeting, if it ain't future wise, I'm not associating myself with it. And that's one thing that we have to in other words, check ourselves on, because I'm not going to forget my elementary friend just because they're not like elevating on in the sense of like creating events, being around the same rooms as me. I'm not going to forget about them. That's so messed up.
A lot of people do that. That's
we
messed
do.
up.
We did that when we had kids. The minute that we were kids, and in the gap of having kids, you guys probably don't know, but after school, literally high school, you guys pretty much separated. So that's how it feels with us ladies going from girls to mothers, because all of a sudden that's all we got is our kids. Yeah. So that's another reason why I'm here to say that, yes, I am going by faith on everything I do. Yes, I am a mother, but at the same time, I'm not just a mother.
Yeah. And then,
I'm Mayra Dayan first and foremost. So I need to make sure that not only when I'm right, my girls feel that energy, but at the same time, I'm not just a mother. You're late girls. You guys are going to leave me one day. Yep. I'm raising you guys to leave me one day, because I'm raising you guys to be independent. And everything I raise you guys to be, I want to see you guys be. In other words, so I'm expecting that day. And when that day comes, not only quote unquote do I have my backup money, but I have my life too.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
People forget about that when they have kids.
And that's why we got to talk about it, because I also talk to even my sister back then. She probably thought, why are you putting makeup on me? Like, I don't like makeup, but you're a woman. Like, you're going through stuff, right? There's power in makeup. You're not feeling good today. Put a little eyeshadow on. You look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, duh, I'm beautiful. What? Like, of course you're beautiful from the end, but there is power. There is power in all these things, especially when you're trying to channel it into a positive. So once again, we're the voice. We're the voice. And if I'm not who I am and I don't consistently fight to be this positive person, OMG, I could take my own self out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even want to cut my own life short. I want it you know, when I say books and movies, I want it to be a good long movie, a good long book that tells you, you know, not only my life, because to me it's like, who wants to hear my life? I don't even like to talk about all my sadness, but there is super, like, the person that I am now, you will see as a powerful woman, as an intellectual, as a confident. Well, let me tell you that it took all that pain to become this powerful woman. So that's why I'm here to talk about that. Like, once upon a time, I didn't think that I would ever want to tell you that I'm not perfect, that that I have flaws. But yeah, what God is, if anything, he'll be the one to show me, in other words, that I'm human. So when there's things that happen in your life and you can't control, that just tells you that it's just trying to show you something, it's trying to teach you something, and it's just trying to get you prepared for the next level. So
amen to that. Yes.
Hey. Okay, so we the voice party though. We gotta get it cracking.
Nah, that's exactly why we like to put stuff out there. Like,
and I gotta say, I mean,
it's inspiring.
Mother of three, balancing a music career, community activism, and raising. You know, I was keen on what you're saying about, you know, like, people leave high school, those that become moms get busy with motherhood. Mm-hmm. That's a real, like, I don't even front on parenthood. That is a full-time job if you you know what I mean. If
and they let go of their dreams usually.
You know,
and like I was saying, makeup and taking care of yourself, and I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. I'm not trying. I you know, God, check me if I'm ever too egoistic. Right? Mm-hmm. Check me, Lord. But other than that, yeah, there's power in all of that. Yes. Like, I'm showing my girls, they may see, oh my God, my mommy's putting on makeup again. But ladies, you guys will understand what I'm ultimately doing, which is, hey, mommy may like makeup, but guess what? Mommy actually wants to create a line. Yeah. Mommy knows what, you know, because she does like makeup or whatnot. She knows ultimately, like, I do know makeup so much, right, women, that when it comes to you actually creating a line, you know what to focus on. I'm not trying to go crazy and create this, that, the other. I'm just trying to do maybe different tones and one thing first. So when we do that, we literally break the charts like Rihanna did. She had all tones, and it was against Kylie because she's a billionaire. She's great at the makeup market. Mm-hmm. But when Rihanna did all shades, it shows you that you didn't have to branch out and do everything. Do one thing at a time, but make sure that you don't leave nobody behind. Get all colors. So the first thing I will do is not only foundations, but I will really get down on the ultimate makeup that's not going to be tested on animals, that's going to be organic, that it's not going to break you out. Like, it's going to take me time to create this foundation because I really want to make sure that is, you know, in other words,
ethical.
I'm not worried about the money because the money's going to come in while I sleep, but I just know that when I put something out, I'm putting it out knowing that I'm not trying to get your money. I'm just not only trying to make you feel better or good or whatever you may think when you're putting it on, but I really do care about what I create and what I put out. That's
you have a sense of responsibility there. It's like, I don't want to chop up a bunch of whales.
Yeah. And not even that, there's makeup that I don't even know. Maybe MAC. Ooh. MAC.
There goes your sponsorship now.
No.
Our sponsorship.
Hey, they're expensive, but I don't think you know, when you know about makeup, MAC, it's very heavy on a woman's skin, and they break out. So that's what I'm saying. You could be expensive, you could be well known, but if you're doing that to women's faces, cool. It's like you're going to what is that? You're going to their main offices or whatever, and you're going in their lab or whatever they may call it, and you're seeing how they proceed these stuff, how this is being made. I don't think it's normal. By the time it gets to us, it's nice and packaged. we are fools. So that's why it's podcast, the voice. Our voice is super powerful in the sense of what you're saying, because a lot of people they're just talking just to talk, but the next thing you know, they're bringing people down. They're really getting people to even go and do things that, you know, you once upon a time just said it as a song, and now they're actually doing it. And, you know, because there's power in, like I said, the voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You know, so when you understand
we influence people by what we say, like very much.
Yeah. And that's why we got to talk about that. Make sure that the people know it's on them if they want to take our advice, but it's good for us to give them those type of facts.
Yeah.
Like, don't do this, don't do that. It's on you to run with it. But at the end of the day, if we don't talk about that, if it wasn't for us creating these podcasts, it would just be within our conversation, within just our, you know, 4 doors, within this room. And then that's it. We leave with jewels. We're great people. We're elevating. But what about the rest?
Time to bring everyone else.
You know, we're not living on no Rosa Parks or no back then. Like, come on, everybody. I can't do that no more. I can't even do that, period. You got to look out for yourself. But with the voice, hey, now, you will like, once you hear something and it really does do something to your mind, it breaks them. Not only the mindset, but what is that? The, not the barriers, man, it's just a mindset thing to me right now. Like, if you're not thinking about your mind and how in a negative, it even becomes a mental disorder or mental, you know what I'm saying? You, in a negative way, like a lot of people, if they do not have their mind right, they are killing themselves. Like, it's becoming that.
Their mental landscapes that they got set for themselves.
There's a documentary.
Traditions and stuff.
There's a documentary came out a few years ago. I didn't see it, but I read the synopsis of it. So there's a guy who, like, I guess he's a Midwesterner, right? Caucasian fella. Said that as long as he had known his dad was the most compassionate, kind fellow. I think even a veteran. And he said, you know, he noticed as he would come, you know, during the years of his adulthood to visit his father on holidays and such, that his dad's language started getting to be fairly conservative. Nothing wrong with that within itself, but like as things progressed, he started saying some racially tinged things like, these doggone minorities are ruining our country. So he started wondering, how on earth is it my father, who didn't seem to have any kind of racial tension in his bones, start spouting this stuff out? Was he always like this? He come to find out he was listening to like extreme like right-wing radio. And when you listen to the same things repeated over and over and over again, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it goes against your core values or not, you start to believe it, especially if you're listening in a vacuum.
Yes.
And there's like a scientific study done on this somewhere too about the effects of repeating the same thing over and over again has on your mind.
Very sad.
Or another thing that's dangerous to do, because, you know, we pick up subliminal stuff and even not subliminal stuff hella like that in our brains. If you go to sleep like with the TV on or with music on, even though your brain's asleep, kind of, you're still, that part of your brain that takes in messages is still awake. And a lot of times, I sometimes do. I fall asleep watching movies and TVs, and it does affect how you think.
Oh yeah, you know, and like you said, the voice is powerful, and we have an immense responsibility whenever we get on any kind of microphone or any kind of public platform, podcast, even songwriting, to represent the best values that we can offer. I mean, yeah, you could get on the horn and say it's just entertainment, and I'm guilty of listening to, you know, entertainment too. Like, I don't know if you've heard of Cameron from the Diplomats, but like, you know, there's a line that he says on one of his classic records, Down and Out. He's like, you like pets, me too. Mine's are dead. You know what I mean? Like, Closet's Pet Cemetery, Minx, you know, he's referencing all of like the fancy furs he's got, and he's doing it at the time as a kid. I was like, oh, he's like seriously, he's serious. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, Cameron just likes being outrageously funny. He's joking. But if you're at the wrong place in life, you're hearing that, you're like, oh yeah, I need to get mink furs to be like Cameron. Like, no, that's
it's horrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
And that's the reason why you guys, when you guys created this podcast, you guys probably didn't even think of like the power of it.
we're just having fun.
You know? And I have a quick question. Like, I really hope that, you know, when you guys have these guests here and they're talking about something that you guys don't agree, I don't even know if it's a question, but I'm actually kind of telling you guys, like, I hope that you guys do have, like we say, this voice and actually either stop it and be like, you know what, we're not even going to proceed that because I don't want my viewers to hear what you're saying because it's not something that I want them to hear. Like, do you guys keep, do you feel like you'll have that control in the middle of a interview, or would you cut it, or you're not going to cut it short because...
Nah, because to this day we haven't had that, and also, like, I mean,
and you pick and choose who you interview,
yeah,
right?
and
So
then
you get a little familiar with.
I mean, I will admit we had like one, maybe two folks that I personally didn't agree with everything they had to say, but I would still, like, my response to that is sort of like, all right, I'll let you have your piece. Freedom of speech being what it is, and the voice party being easygoing. But I'll also turn around and like give my own moral perspective to go, well, this is how I see things.
Because as adults, this is how we have these conversations nowadays. Like, I'm not gonna kick someone out because I don't agree with them. Like, I'm not saying that that's how it would. But even if I don't agree with them, like, you know, it's all good. But, you know, I mean, that's why I like having this, because especially we're all a diverse group.
Exactly.
And we have had different people who have different backgrounds, different, you know, there's some stuff that gets said that I don't personally agree with, but I need to listen to it because this was out there. I'm gonna bump into these motherfuckers in the liquor store, in the grocery store, you know, and
you know, and the beauty about
inviting, gotta coexist.
Yeah, and the beauty about inviting people that have different ideas is that you also have the opportunity to reinforce or present your own ideas in the discourse. So it's like, all right, let's say this person's favorite color is gray. You know what I mean? I'll say, well, you know what? Gray isn't my favorite color. I'm more of a green guy myself, and this is why. And they may disagree, and then they have the opportunity to be like, well, no, it's definitely gray for me. And that's totally cool, because I've said my piece, they've said their piece. It's respectful. It's not like you know, the one problem I see in media is, you know, you'll watch a show that has a certain set of beliefs, and it's like they'll overtalk their guest if the guest doesn't agree with them, or vice versa. Right. But I'm like, and then the other show that has the other set of beliefs does the same thing, and I'm like, well, no, let's actually present our ideas like adults. I'll shut up for you, you give me time, and then let the listeners decide.
I do love that, because I will say that there's listeners out there that agree with me. There's some that agree with you. Mm-hmm. So, yes, it's a safe space to acknowledge, you know, not only your people and what they're saying, but in other words, you know, you agree to disagree. Like, it's okay. Like, that's us being adults. Like, we're communicating. I love it. Now, if it's my podcast and they're going left with it, like, what's his name? You gonna put respect on my name? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, put respect on my podcast and have a great day.
I think I'd have
because
fun,
you're not going to attain it. I mean, the voice party is a safe space. Yeah. My podcast, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm going to have those storytelling, you know what I'm saying, conversations that I don't. You might have to even read it in the room that we're in. I don't settle, or I don't want negative vibes. So anything that I feel that comes from that energy, hey, I'm okay to say no to all money and good money. So if that's what you're doing, and you're going to, in other words, I don't want none of my viewers. I mean, come on now. We just said that if when you hear something back to back, you end up believing it. Mm-hmm. So true. I don't want my viewers. I don't know who it may be. It may be one that do believe that person, and then the next thing you know, they not only think it, but they act on it. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna be a part of that now.
and that's why
I'm not gonna give no light, no highlight to none of that. I only highlight positive people that are that you know went from a negative, but they're positive.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's why it's important for like us. Whenever I'm gonna bring someone on, for example, just, you know, the way we do our things on the back, like on our side, if I'm gonna bring a guest, like I'll tell these guys who they are and what they're about, you know, before we even, because I mean, this is also my perspective. I'm bringing them to my place. This is where I live. I sleep right there. You know, like I want to make sure who I bring in is you
nice
coming to
and
my
comfortable
house.
And you trust.
Yeah,
for sure.
If it was
for
in the
sure.
studio, I probably wouldn't do that. I mean, I probably still would, but you know, because I also care about what I put out there.
That's
like,
what
you
I'm
know?
saying. Because it could be.
And even if I disagree, I want to make sure I disagree with you on the air. You know? Yeah, because it's out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you notice we had a person on here. They were talking about how they felt relationships are in modern era and how things should be. And I was like, that's not necessarily. I mean, in my experience, or
that's what we kind of.
I won't argue on air because other people that are looking at us are not going to make it seem like we're the crazy ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk.
Yep.
Yeah, let's agree to disagree. That's
exactly.
totally fine. But next time, I'm going to make sure that I'm taking fully control. I know what you're coming to talk about, but because it's nothing like that, you already know. You pick and choose.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to share a story about her.
Oh my gosh.
Because ever since we became friends,
yes,
every once in a while, and this is weird,
okay,
but every once in a while when I'm like not doing well or whatever, I'll get a random phone call from Mayra. And I'm like,
Mayra Dayan.
Like, yo, how you doing? And they're like, not well. So
and see, that's what I meant by
crying.
And that's what I meant by crying. I was like, I don't want to talk about no therapy stuff.
Nah, this ain't no therapy
Even
stuff.
though this is therapy to me. You know what
that's
I'm
like
saying?
the mother side of you that comes in and like, oh yeah, all right.
You know what? That's just me, period.
Checking on your
that's
friends.
Just me,
Yeah.
That's just me, period. No, for real.
That's
I really
true.
am
That's
like
a good
that.
friend.
Aw. See, to me, a friend is being friendly, right? So
Yep.
we always got to correct
Absolutely.
that. But being what you just said that I am, that's me being Mayra Dayan. Give
her.
God the glory. I give God the glory. You know, because he puts it in my heart. Like who else puts it in your heart to randomly?
Yeah,
right?
right.
I don't look at it as a random call. I'm just calling. But now that he's saying it like that, I'm like, wow, that's how you know it's really, really God.
Yeah, God sometimes moves us to be in the right place.
And we don't know what they're going through. That's the power of it. That's how you know it's only God, because I could call all my friends just because I want to be Mayra Dayan. Guess what? I really don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
You're busy. Unfortunately, that's very sad. I'm gonna do my best to, you know what I'm saying, to ultimately make more time. Because when it comes down to Mayra Dayan wanting that in return, I don't get that in return. But guess what? It's okay though. I'm not a baby. That's when God gets in. I remember that God is there for me, right? I get myself busy. Get yourself busy. Get up. There's so much to do. I'm not talking about cleaning the house and taking care of the kids. I want to write some music. I start writing some music. Eventually, I want to do a book, a movie. I got to get to it right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, staying busy and so yeah, I'm not a little girl to it. I say I'm a gangster because I don't even cry. But sometimes you have to. I actually probably had my first cry in a long time, probably like a year ago. And I really felt like God was kind of patting me in the back and telling me, it's okay, keep crying. Go, take it out.
You just said something I want to kind of touch on though.
Go ahead.
I heard Jerry Seinfeld say this. It was about comedy, but like it pertains to everything. Like what she just said.
Comedy.
It was because I watched one of his.
They turned that to a positive into comedy. So go ahead.
I saw this documentary. I think it's still on Netflix that he made, and it's just him talking about like writing jokes. I mean, you talking about writing music, but he was talking about writing jokes, and like he was sitting in a cafe, but he was being kind of like lazy about it, and he saw these construction workers on their break, and he's like they're chilling. And then the time's up, and then they got to go back to work. They don't want to go back to work, obviously. I mean, I've been there. I don't want to go back to work either.
But you got that break.
But you gotta go. But you gotta go back to work. Like you have no choice.
It's like recess. I don't want to go back to class.
Exactly. He's like, if I
go home and sleep.
If he said, if I treat this thing that I love like them motherfuckers do, I have no choice. I got to go and do it. Like, I'll be even better. And he did. And that's how he started becoming a better writer. Just treat it like it's your job, even though you love it and you do it for fun. Just treat it like work. Like, I got to do it.
Yeah.
A 20-minute break. I got to go back. And like, it started. He said,
and that's the thing about it. It is work.
Yeah.
You moving your body is work. Even if they ask me, Mom, where do you work? Like, first of all, I don't even think you guys understand the way that your body works. The word works. My body works. I am not a vegetable. It's working. So when we
it's a plant.
No, I don't want to be vegetable, but no. So just going back on breaking the back then, the way that we used to look at the word work. Nobody wants to go to work. No. Nobody wants to work. But now it's like, what? Hold on, my body works. I'm actually thankful that I am working.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a working person. So when you change the mindset of it, it just breaks just basically you won't even have that attitude when it comes to that word anymore. Because not only, yes, we're adults and we need money and we want to work and maybe we love work, but guess what? You're not a vegetable and your body does work. So just knowing that, just changing the word from a negative to a positive, seeing it the same word, but seeing it in a different light. Oh my God, it just brings happiness to me. I can say, yes, Mayra Dayan loves to work.
There you go.
Man, and we're getting closer to the end. I just wanted to, I know, right? It
I'm like, we need a part 2.
Well, I know, right?
Or maybe my book. Stay tuned.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I wanted to have a podcast.
This was like a freestyle today.
We do follow ups. So
this was straight up
stay
freestyle.
tuned. Yeah,
We gotta do some music together later.
I want before we start to get closer to the end. I just want to say, like, if someone's listening, what's your overall message to them that you want to take away from everything you said?
Oh, they're for sure listening. Man, shut me down. Well, the organization ultimately, I will say,
where can we find that? Richmond.
So the organization, you can find it at Richmond, Richmond CA. Stay tuned for all of our up and coming projects. You guys definitely want to follow us, repost us, and support your friends. Start with just supporting your own friends. Even if you don't want to repost my page, that's totally fine. I want,
that's not fine. I'm just kidding.
Hey, you know what? The fact that they got a message from me being me, that's totally fine. A lot of people may not, I'm growing up to understand that sometimes it's not good for your name to be attached to everything, because there's going to be people that don't want to purchase it because your name is attached to it. So that's the reason why I created, not the reason, but another little good reason why So Richmond, the organization, is not just Mayra Dayan, the brand, because you're never going to feel mad or jealous or negative when it comes to this. It started off a positive thing. Matter of fact, you're putting yourself on while you're putting others. So that's my whole thing. That's how that started. If I'm going to shine, which I know I'm going to make sure I shine.
Already are.
Okay. I'm bringing you guys up with me though.
Right on.
Because I'm not saying that I'm happy when people make me happy, but it's something about that fuel, that energy, that ultimately, if I'm not doing that, it's like I'm not working. I'm dead. It's like I might as well be a vegetable, because I really do feel like that. I strongly feel like that. I had to tell myself and check myself, no, it's not you needing people to be who you are. It's ultimately the energy. I'm around you, you're that energy. Guess what? The next thing you know, you're gonna have a great day. Like you just could only hope for the best. It's just so much to say, but if one word can dictate everything, just unite. Just be about unity. That's it. That's the only word that I can say. I don't want to say too much. You guys know what that word means. Take it and run with it. Make a brand out of it.
If somebody wants to reach out to you, through So Richmond or
So Richmond, that's the So Richmond CA. I do have a personal account. I don't really try.
You got to be a real tight friend for that one.
Yeah, something like that. Because the minute they hit my DM, I'm deleting. Like, if you're not talking about some real stuff, which I hardly get those bad DMs because, my vibe, I'm telling you, it's all about the energy. If you go to my comments, you don't see not one negativity. Because when I knew that the power that the ultimate, social media platform has, I understood what I could do with it. Not only make money through that,
Free
because that's really what you do with a platform like that. You put yourself out there to ultimately make money off whatever it is that you're displaying, right? But second of all, it would be just ultimately going back to my personal page, I do want them to see and get a little feel and a little, picture or whatnot of who is behind the organization. It's so funny to say that they think it's a man.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so now if you guys see this, it's not a man.
This is the face of Richmond.
Which I love that is not a man, because when they see a woman, hello. I got 2 team members under me and they're men. And when I sat down with them for the first time, they loved the fact that it was a woman. Like, they feel more powerful. Did we change that? Is that what it is? Because I remember it was like a man's world. Now it's like, here comes this, I don't know what it is about us, but we definitely bring that fire that I'm not saying men don't have, but it's something about a woman and a man coming together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like I said, unite, and look out.
Makes the dream work.
Stay tuned for more things that I do have that I'm planning, that I got up my sleeves. I do have, I am working on a podcast, so stay tuned to that. And ultimately much more things. I don't want to say too much, but just follow my page, repost, and then y'all see everything that I have up and coming. I don't know what else to say.
Doesn't get better than that, man.
Or maybe I do have more to say.
Dun dun dun.
Tune in to So Richmond, to the Glamorous podcast.
Oh my gosh, I might have to name it that now.
All right, that's been the Voice Party.
And I'm Joaquin Xavier. And
JD signing off.
are definitely out.
We out. Hey.